Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are going to explain about electronic measurement and instrumentation. What is the necessity of the electronic measurements and instrumentation? We need to check that what is the necessity means. So in every field of our real-time system we will be measuring. Until we measure at the right, we cannot be identify what is the quantity or the quality it may be. So that is the necessity we are going to be measure. So what is the basics of measurements? So basics of measurement is mainly deals with it is the quantity or a measurand. What you mean by measurand? It is the quantity under measurement. So in that we have a three type of the elements we are discussing. In that first one is measurement, measurand as well as instrumentation. What do you mean by the measurement? Measurement is the measure of what is the quantity that we are going to be measure. Next, measurand. What is measurand? It is the quantity under measurement. Next, instrumentation. Instrumentation, it is a branch of engineering which deals with measuring instruments. Next, we are mainly discussing about the functions of all the branches of engineering. In that, we mainly deals with design of equipment and process. Next, the proper operation and maintenance of equipment and processes. These are the two elements we need to be considered in any engineering branch or any engineering industries. Next, come to the method of measuring. In that we have two types. One is direct, another one is indirect method. In this method of measurement, first we discuss about the direct comparison method. In that, unknown quantity is compared directly against a standard. Direct methods are quite common for measurement of physical quantities like length, mass and time. These methods are inaccurate and less sensitive as they involve human error, hence rarely used. Next, we will be think on indirect comparison method. Indirect comparison method, it is also called as calibration system method. It is used only where direct measurement is either impossible or impractical. Indirect comparison method make use of the measuring system consists of transducer, signal processing device and output device. These things will be explaining or discussing in the next classes. Next, basic terminology. It mainly involves in measurement. First one is instrument. Instrument is a device used to determine the present value of the quantity under measurement. Next, measurement. It is the process of determining a quantity such as physical variable, temperature, pressure, power, voltage. by direct or indirect method of comparison with the accepted standards. Static characteristics: accuracy, precision, repeatability, resolution, errors, sensitivity are called static performance characteristics, where these are considered in instruments used to measure unvarying process conditions only. And these are obtained by a process called calibration. Next, accuracy. Accuracy is the closeness with which an instrument reading approaches the true value of the variable being measured. Example: if the voltage to be measured is 100 volt, then the voltmeter with the accuracy of plus or minus 1% is used. The instrument reading, it might shows 99 volt and 101 volt only. It defines how close the measurement is to the actual quantity. Next, precision. It is a measure of degree to which successive measurement differ from one another. It is not same as the accuracy. Precision depends on the number of digit or significant figure in which the result is expressed. Example: if the voltage is measured as 7.125 volts, the precision output voltage may be 7.126 volt or 7.124 volt respectively. Next, resolution. It is the smallest change in a measured variable to which an instrument will respond. In other words, a smallest measurable input change. It is the ability of instrument to discriminate between nearly equal values. Next, expected value. It is the most probable value that calculation indicate one should expect to measure. Error. It is a deviation of the measured value from the true value. Sensitivity. It is the ratio of the change in output of the instrument to the change of input. Significant figures. It convey actual information regarding the magnitude and precision of a quantity. Measurement of a greater precision can be expressed with more significant figure. Next, range. The difference between the largest and the smallest reading of the instrument. is called range of the instrument. Dynamic characteristics. These are concerned with instrument's response to rapidly varying quantity. It is determined by subjecting its sensing element to variation in the measured quantity. Next, dynamic characteristics. As I explained, dynamic characters is mainly concerned with instrument response to the rapidly varying quantity. In a real-time system, all the quantities are measured with the dynamic values only. In that, we mainly think of the time. The most common variation in the measured quantities are: first one, step change, in which sensing element is subjected to instantaneous and finite change is measured value. A linear change, in which sensing element is following measured variable changing linearly with time. Sinusoidal change, in which sensing element follows a measured variable, the magnitude of which changes in accordance with a sinusoidal function of constant amplitude. Dynamic characteristics of the instruments, in that we need to be check in time, the speed of response, fidelity, the lag, and dynamic error. These are mainly involved with the time concern. The speed of response, it is the rapidity with which instrument respond to change in the measured quantity. Next, fidelity. It is the faithful reproduction, where it is the degree to which instrument indicates the changes in the measured variable without dynamic error. Lag. It is the delay in the response of the instrument to changes in the measured variable. Dynamic error. It is the difference between the true value of the quantity changing with time and the value indicated by the instrument, assuming that there is no static error. Next, we think on the generalized electronic measuring system. It mainly deals with the fourth block of functional elements. It consists of transducer, it also called as a primary sensor, signal conditioner, display device, regulated power supplies. A transducer is a primary sensor, senses the quantity under measurement and changes it to a proportionate electric signal. This input quantity is the most instrumentation system is understood. The input quantity are converted into electric signal where it can be amplified, attenuated, filtered, detected, analyzed, modulated, transmitted and recorded, so on. Signal conditioner. It is the main functional block. It converts the transducer output into an electrical quantity suitable for control, recording and displaying. That signal is amplified, filtered, modified to form a acceptable to display. Display device. It is a readout or a display device. It may be any indicating meter, oscilloscope or any chart. The output may be displayed in analog or digital format. These signals converted into digital form for automatic analysis, recording or a process control, where in that we involve analog to digital converter or digital to analog conversion if necessity. Regulated power supply. It provides the supply required excitation to the transducer and a necessary electric power to the signal conditioner as well as for display device. Errors. As I said, what you mean by error? It is the deviation of measured value from the true value. In that we have specifically we have a absolute error. The absolute error may be defined as difference between the expected value and the measured value of the variable. Example, if an error is expressed as 0.5 voltage, then it is the actual difference between 2 volt minus 1.5 volts. Next, relative error. It is expressed as percentage or a fraction of total value. The percentage error is expressed by percentage error equals E divided by Yn into 100%, where E is the absolute error and Y is expected value. Next, sources of error. Inability of hardware to provide a true measurement. Insufficient knowledge of process parameter design conditions. Poor design. Poor maintenance. Change in process parameter irregularity upsets. Design limitations. Those are the source of the error. Next, briefly we will be explain as the errors in a broad way, how we could explain the errors. In that we have mainly the gross errors, systematic errors, random errors. In the systematic error we have instrumentational error, environmental error, observational error. Coming to gross error, it occurs due to human mistake in reading or recording observation, incorrect adjustment, improper application of instrument, carelessness, and computational mistakes. Everyone makes these mistakes occasionally. The complete elimination of gross error is not possible, but by the careful use of instrumentation, one can minimize them. Systematic error. It occurs due to shortcoming of the instrument such as defectiveness, aging, overuse of the parts, effect of environment on the instrumentation. Instrumentational error mainly friction in the bearing of the various components, irregular spring tension, reduction in the tension due to the improper handling or overloading of instrumentation. Environmental errors. These are due to conditions external to the measuring devices. They include in the area of surrounding such as effect of change in the temperature. It can be minimized by air conditioning using magnetic field. Observational error. This error is the parallax error which arises on account of pointer and the scale not being in the same plane. The mirror is provided in order to take care of this problem. Random errors are some of the errors. Next, arithmetic mean. It is the mean of the all the values. Next, deviation of the mean. It is the departure of the given reading from the arithmetic mean. Average deviation. It indicates the precision of instrument. Highly precise instrument yields a low average deviation. It can be expressed. I will be explained in the next classes. Standard deviation. It is the root mean square deviation. It is the square root of sum of all the individual deviations squared divided by the number of reading. It is expressed by sigma. Next, variance. Variance or mean square deviation is the same as the standard deviation, except that the square root is not extracted. Hence, the variance is equals to the square of the standard deviation. Next, normal distribution of error, probable errors and limiting errors. This will be explaining in the next classes. Next, standards. What do you mean by standard? A standard of a measurement is a physical representation of unit of measured. It is a known accurate measure of physical quantity, and these are used to determine the value of the physical quantity by comparison. Example, when we are weighing some vegetables, we will be weighing the vegetable with the 1 kilo stone or 2 kilo stones or half kilo stones. Thus, we are taking as a standard. Right. Next, in that we have a different levels of standard. Who is at the top? Is an international standard. It is defined by international agreement maintained at International Bureau of Weights and Measurement in France. These are very accurate. It is significantly possible to achieve. It has highest precision. That means you never expect a single 0.1% of weighing difference also. These are periodically evaluated, checked by absolute measurement. They are not available for ordinary user for any application. Next, primary standard. These are accurate and absolute unit certified by the national levels, and hence it is called for national standard institution to be within the available tolerance. These are very expensive to own and maintain. These type of measure only measured in high level of measurements, like some of the supermarkets are like, if you go to the shirts and all, they will be checking in points like 63.105%, like that in national level of standards. While you are measuring a petrol, you will be checked with 100 rupees for how much of liter, or for 1 liter how many money that you are spending, that in a point paisas. These are up to the standard national level only. The function of this standard is verification, calibration of the secondary standards. Secondary standards. These are a basic reference standards used and maintained by the laboratories. Each laboratory periodically sends its secondary standard for the national level for calibration comparison against the primary standards. After comparison and calibration, National Standards Laboratory returns these standards to the particular industry with the certification of measuring accuracy in terms of primary standards. Electronic weighing machine will be measuring. In all the shops we will be having stones, right, in all standards. Next, working standards. These are the lowest level of standards used at a measuring in reference, and these we will be checking day-to-day basis in an industrial establishment as well as in a laboratories, and these are used to check and calibrate the laboratory instrument within the industries only. And these standard they will be checking with the higher secondary standards. These are at the lower level, that is within the area, within that market, or within that circle, or within that town only. Next, IEEE standards. What do you mean by IEEE? Where IEEE stands for Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. It is headquartered in New York, and these standards are set of procedures and standard test method, nomenclatures, definitions. They are at the high level. It is specifying the test equipment. Standards specify controls, functions, next, GPIB. What that mean? A general purpose interface bus for a programmable instrumentation. One of the most important standards in IEEE 488 digital interface. Using this interface, it is possible to connect various instruments. Bridge. It is a circuit extensively used for measuring components value such as resistance, inductance, capacitance, as well as the frequency. These are merely compares the value of unknown component with the accurate known component. Its measurement accurate can be very high. As I explained about the bridge, we have a difference in the bridges coming to a DC bridge as well as the AC bridge. What are the main difference? DC bridge, it has a 4 resistive arms, and AC bridge where it mainly involved with the reactive element, hence it has 4 reactive arms. DC bridge, it uses DC source only. AC bridge, it uses AC source. DC bridge uses galvanometer as null detector, whereas in AC bridge it uses headphone as null detector. In DC bridge, under balance condition, product of opposite arm resistance are equal. In AC bridge, under balance condition, product of opposite arm impedance, where it involves reactance both from the inductor as well as the capacitance, need to be equal. Measurements of resistance using Wheatstone bridge, that I will be explaining with the diagram. Thank you.